real quick. Make sure I'm on. The levels good. Making sure my stream's up. Bear with me 1 second. My apologies, people. Making sure my stream works. My apologies. Okay, I'm good like that. I was only delaying my start time to the second to last video. The last video I did, I had issues with the video starting in general. Uh, my brother Michael Johnson talk boxing talk. You don't even know what I'm talking about, bro. Why you saying stop it? The no, thank you for coming through though. I would have gave you a link too, but I don't know how to do it with the off the phone. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I started my last live stream from here in North Jersey. Um, we actually are located in the town that has the most sightings, if you will, like where they show a lot of these news clips, um, are based in the town next to mine. I don't want to name the town out because I don't want to make it hard for, or I'd like to make it hard for these dangerous online people that are out nowadays. You talking about your daddy? No, no. I think you talk more about Trump than I do. But when I started my last live stream, it was in an effort to try to take live footage of drones that were flying over the house or near the house. If you guys have tuned into my past live streams, um, do go check out my work because I think a lot of the information that I put out ends up coming true. No, but Trump is your daddy, boy. Nah, that's you, bro. Trump's on your mind more than he's on my mind. Um, and please subscribe to my brother, Mr. Boxing, Mr. Johnson Boxing Talk and more. He only likes the perspective. If it likes to make Trump look bad, he'll cover it. If not, he won't cover it. But I was shooting my last video, and I was trying to shoot videos, shots of the drones that were near my house. In past videos, I've shown like right outside my house where you can see the skyline of New York because it's unobstructed views in these neighborhoods near me. One of which is the neighborhood that they keep showing on the news as far as being taken over by drones, to put it in a light fashion. But when I tried to do that video, I couldn't start it up. It gave me a hard time, and my wife said that it looked like it was indicating as if it was loading. But I must have tried to shoot it at least 5 times, and it was just that it couldn't connect to YouTube, and this is because my wife saw a drone right before she got into the shower, like near my house. Um, it's raining over here today, but I would have walked over there to the area where you could see the skyline, which is a few feet from here. Um, and those drones that they're reporting, I've been seeing them for quite some time, not thinking that they were drones. I just thought that they were smaller aircraft or helicopters, because after all, we're real close to an urban area. Um, Nah, bro, if them were from another country, from another ship, they would be done. Especially because motherfuckers out there outed that it was a mothership. Yeah, no, I mean, and the story keeps changing every day with these things. And I'll cover that in a minute. But when I tried starting the video and it wasn't letting me do it, and I had to like mess around with my phone and then make sure that it wasn't an issue. And then once I got to the other room or away from the window, the video started up, and then I started shooting it from the video nevertheless, which is in my top floor of my house. But and I did show videos of the drones that are seen so frequently here in North Jersey. I mean, everybody's reporting it around the country But living in it, I mean, literally like next to the town that they keep showing on the TV in relation to a lot of these drone things taking place. You know, it's not that it's scary, but it's you know, just another in the line of thousand crazy things that have happened in 2023, 2024. And the year ain't even over yet. We're in the middle of December, so some nutty shit is bound to go down. I mean, nutty shit is going down as we speak, and people don't go nuts because of the way it's being reported at times. Private citizens are playing my games, is what my 3 cents. It can be government obviously doing their job. If it is the government obviously doing their jobs, the ones that I've seen here, like the first time I report, like, well, I'll say my personal story. The first time I peeped one of the drones, it didn't have these color lights like the ones you see here. Mind you, I've never seen a drone in flight in real life. And the first time I saw one of these unnamed vehicles or aerial vehicles, if you will, was in June of this year. And I thought it was a drone. At first, I thought it was a helicopter, but it kept flying in front of my house, but not only in one side of my house, basically. But it kept making a circular pattern that each revolution or each time it would make a circle around near my house, it probably took it about 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Um, and it was up there for at least 4 hours. And I said that story last time. As far the ones that I see here in this town and the areas of North Jersey, what everybody's reporting seeing, they're a little bit bigger than the regular. They're a lot bigger than the regular size drone. If you look at the video that I shot from my last live stream, the ones that they're showing are off in the distance and they're real high in the sky, and you could still see them. I mean, they're not as big as like a helicopter, but you could still spot them, even though they're probably at least a mile away, like in relation to where my video is. But I really thought I was bugging out. I mean, like, not that I thought I was bugging out, but I often don't even look. I was bugging out because I never spotted them, thinking that it's just something else. I mean, I guess when you see something so frequently in the sky like chemtrails, you start getting used to it in a sense. And I fell victim to that, I guess, with the exception of the first time I saw it because it was literally flying like in front of my house, seemingly. And I shot it from the same floor where I shot my last video, or I was looking at it with my son from that floor, and it didn't look any taller than when I was on my ground floor. So I mean, not that, but the only thing that bugged me out about that time in June was that it was in the air so long. And I know regular commercial drones can't stay up that long, but the fact that it's happening right now and that it's just acceptable in a sense, that's more of the bugged out thing, like that people aren't. Um, I mean, a lot of people are talking about it, but I wouldn't see this as a thing in years past. And it's not like just because I'm not like happy with Biden's job performance, which I'm not. But in years past, I doubt that something of this magnitude, where you have vehicles that would do damage if they ran into a power line, if they ran into a plane, if they were loaded with bombs like they are right now in Ukraine, like where Russia and Ukraine uses drone warfare to fight each other. They use drones to drop grenades, use drones as like kamikazes, and actually fly them into combatants. Use drones strapped with whatever. Drone warfare already started going down um, in the Eastern Europe, uh, and now the fact that we have so many of them right near this town too. I mean, like the town over, um, it's certainly bugged out for me to be living in it, but it's certainly bugged out to see that this is just like acceptable. I mean, and it's like a long line of things that are like, oh wow, like just another crazy chaotic time that we gotta live through and whatever. It's not, not a big deal. And that's one of the things I want to touch on in this video. I mean, I am going to talk about the drones thing, but Trump did have this surprise meeting in Mar-a-Lago, and we just finished the weekend, and everybody's been talking about is this New Jersey drone issue. And when it came time for this surprise press conference that Trump had today in Mar-a-Lago at 11 o'clock, I'm going to show some of those clips, maybe, I don't know. But however, when it came time to have that press conference where all the world, I mean, would have loved to get Trump's opinion about the drones, um, the media, I thought Trump gave a statement regarding some deal that he had with a bank in Japan. He had the CEO of that bank talk, and he took some questions from the press. My thinking is that since everybody in America and around the world is talking about this drone issue, that also the drones first appeared in Trump's New Jersey home in Bedminster, New Jersey. So he'd be a perfect candidate to talk to. In addition to the fact that under the Biden administration, it was acceptable for these people within his cabinet and for Biden himself to hide and not have to answer questions or tough questions. Where now you had Trump making himself available to the press, discussing something else entirely, but the press never was shy about asking Trump combative questions, if you will, while he was the president. So I'm thinking that every question is going to be about this drone issue. I mean, like, what does he know? And he was the president in the past. I mean, he has to get briefings even now regarding this drone issue, which he actually said he does get briefing, or he did get a briefing regarding the drone issue. Um, However, it probably took a good 10 minutes of questions, maybe more, for the press to ask Trump about this issue. I mean, and it was started off with one guy blurting it out. Most of the questions were about Trump's nominations and about Laura Trump and potentially taking some sort of position in Florida. Like anybody gives a shit. Talking about Robert Kennedy's stance in regards to the vaccine, a polio vaccine. Plain stupid. Basically trying to conflate like maybe trying to fearmonger on what a potential Robert Kennedy cabinet pick could do for the medical industry. I mean, basically obfuscation, but anything but talk about substance and shit. Like the biggest substantive thing that's happening right now is this drone issue. I mean, and you got somebody who on the stage is about to become the president in a month, who also is a victim of these drones in the sense that it was first reported flying above his house. But the press was only looking for a gotcha moment or a bad clipping of Trump. And I'm not saying this because I'm here like trying to defend Trump solely. I'm saying it more in the sense that the media would rather waste your time with fear mongering on Trump rather than like substantive issues. And like ultimately, everybody, Trump don't know shit, but he about to find out. Elaborate, my friend. Um, I don't know what you mean by that, but the media was more than combative when Trump was the president. Having reporters get up in like pretty much get up in his face, like that Eric Acosta idiot, I think his name is from ABC. And also the media took a real non-combative approach in with the Biden administration. I hear more feel about the drones from the Trumpies. Yeah, but you're convoluting again, Michael Johnson. If it's something in relation to, if it were Trump that were leaving us out in the weeds hanging like this with no information, or if Trump would have done any of the things that Biden's done, or a lot of the things that the Biden administration has done, I think you and a lot of other people would have felt far differently about the issue. I mean, like, migration, mandates. Trump also spoke against the mandates too in that briefing today. I actually forgot about that. But that's one thing that I mean, to me and a lot of other people, it was really important. And even though he doesn't touch on the mandates much, he did one statement on it in recent history. I remember where he said that he wasn't for mandates and he was against that. Um, Today, with the press wasting their time trying to frame him for appointing Robert Kennedy to his cabinet, um, they asked him his opinion, I guess, or he put his opinion out there regarding the mandate. See, the press doesn't touch like anything negative regarding the vaccine. I mean, they rather go after the people that are may potentially look into the jab, um, i.e., like a Kennedy. And it was very strategic in that press briefing today because it seemed like 80% of the questions were in relation to Robert Kennedy, in addition to other questions about Trump's candidate cabinet picks. I think that was a waste of time. And in relation to the drones too, I mean, going back to the drones, not that like Trump is gonna break it down and like give me a great assessment of what I think this could be, because I mean, I question all these people. Like, I don't trust any politician. So I mean, like, I do have a drone issue that's running rampantly. So regardless of whether Trump or Mahatma Gandhi or whoever were to give an opinion about the drones, I'm gonna look at it and question it because I've never experienced anything like this my whole life, and it's right here. You know, Trump said we're coming out with the vax lightning speed. Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about Operation. I think it may be relating to Operation Warp Speed. Again, I mean, that was to come out with the vaccine, but it wasn't to force or mandate the jab. And he did mention that as well today in relation to Operation Warp Speed, which, looking back at it, I mean, I think things would have been locked down for far longer if they would have not had a quote unquote jab to distribute. And Operation Warp Speed, if you look into it, was basically cutting the red tape so that it could be put out into the public, so they could create a remedy to COVID, the biggest thing that everybody was talking about, a couple of years ago. It was the best I think that they could have done with the circumstances. In spite of that, though, I mean, like, they really don't want to touch that issue because they were the biggest ones selling it. The media was the ones fear mongering regarding that disease. The media was the biggest ones fear mongering regarding the jab and what you had to take it. Don't have parties, like, don't have six or more people. Make sure that people have the jab. Don't have a workspace without people without having mandates. Bullshit. And like it's almost cringeworthy, like the fact that they have to be a lot more cagey with their tactics with Trump. I like the fact that he's really not doing that many speeches right now. I mean, he is making a lot of moves behind the scenes and trying to rush this cabinet through, which I'm pretty much for a lot of those picks. There are some swampy ass people among those picks, but the picks that everybody has problems with, Elon with the Doge, Hexet for the military, I'm cool with it. Um, Bondi, I only hear good things, but I'm with it for now. But if he changes his mind and switches any of these people out, I'm with it. Um, I rather like, and I already know what he's about. Like, as far as when people don't perform up to par that work for Trump, he would get rid of them. I mean, like, that people would look at that as a bad thing. I actually view that as a really good thing, especially in government. You have people that work in government that are there forever. Um, Most of them should be gone, but and this whole instance in which nobody knows who's in charge right now. Where's Kamala right now? Where's Joe Biden right now? Has anybody seen these people in the last the whole December? I mean, if anybody's seen them, it's like once. and that's for both of them. Like nobody sees these people, like they disappear. You see Trump more than these people, and Trump was running for office, and Trump is now president elect, but he's popping out more than these people in a time of chaos like right now. I mean, like some people could were alluding, congressmen were alluding that this drone thing was an Iranian operation. I mean, whether that's true or not, it's debatable. But right now, we don't know anything. Right now, we have like a bunch of shit that it could be, but for right now, we're everybody's basically with bated breath trying to see what this what who's sending these drones out there. Why are they up in the air? Like nobody knows. But it's unfortunate that the expectation with the Biden administration has been a stance of, well, we don't need to ask them that many questions, or the press is basically in a sense thinking that they could that they're or have thought that they basically enabled Donald Trump in 2020 when he ran in 2016 by not demonizing him at every turn, and they switched it up. I mean, and they probably got finance to switch it up, honestly, like to just become outright liars. But um, I've always had anonymity with the press, and it's not a Trump stance. It's not a conservative stance. It's a truth stance. The press basically lies to us, and it's accepted. Like, I mean, if people don't see that, I mean, or the media, if people don't see it on TV, they won't believe you. I mean, and like to the point now, I mean, like, and like some people are waking up from that. Like, I mean, you better believe it. Like, I think a lot of people would be far off believing what the hell some Puerto Rican dude on YouTube is saying rather than what CNN is saying. That's for sure. But um, the fact that the media operates in the way that they do, to not be looked at as illegal, I mean, it's something that we got to debate in this country. I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like regular people are the ones being censored, and the media just does what they do. They lie to you. I mean, they sell you things outright that are detrimental to you. I mean, they have the ability to censor one person and enable a big microphone for whole groups of bad ideas, and it's totally legal. Now, I'm a free speech absolutionist, 100%. I don't think any man or any regular person should be censored for regardless of their opinion, even if it's hateful. Everybody should be allowed to say whatever you want on every platform. Platforms should be deplatformed for censoring people. That's my stance. Unless it's sexual debauchery and conversations that have to do with bad things with children, anybody should say what they want. But the media, however, they have all the bells and whistles. They lie to us outright as far as CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all big tech. You know, they also bullshit us or corral us by this large censoring apparatus, which is the biggest bone that I have with them. And now, in the face of this drone thing, I mean, like the fact that today, I mean, like you had a really good opportunity to get the most important person in the world's opinion on the issue, and they cared more about defending the pharmaceutical industry, and that's unfortunate. And in relation to that too, I mean, like the pharmaceutical conversation, Trump actually bobbed and weaved around that too. I mean, he said that he was going to take middlemen out of the pharmaceutical industry, and that in itself was going to bring our costs down dramatically as far as for prescriptions. And I mean, I'm with it. The fact that he and they were going after him regarding Robert Kennedy, and I think Robert Kennedy's a fantastic pick for that job to start these studies and look into all these things that are prescribed to our children from birth. Um, the fact that, I mean, I have family members that have autism. I don't remember living around one single person with autism as a young kid. I remember being around a lot of people that had mental issues, or not a lot, but they were regular kids. We played with them. I mean, not that they were like us exactly, but they were just mentally not there. But autism, I mean, like you see some of these kids and they just look like they seen ghosts or some shit. They barely move. I mean, like, and the fact that so many kids are like that now, it's shocking. I mean, nobody's really noticing, I guess. I mean, I think people do notice, but we never really question it. In fact, we've doubled down with the science and said that during the lockdown era that the science couldn't be debated and whatever science says goes. And some people are still true believers. I know people personally that are still eating up those boosters, and it's a shame. And is the media responsible for that? Absolutely, and in large part they are. I mean, the fact that people could be shepherded is one thing. But and I can't really blame people at times. I mean, in spite of the fact that a lot of people were very brutal to yours truly when it came to the issue as far as the inoculations and jabs, where people made it seem like, oh, you're one of those people, oh, because you don't want to take this, or that gets very frustrating to debate or to talk about or to be accused of, if you will. Um, Especially at a time like that, like where I felt like, in a sense, I was being censored. The people that were talking about these things candidly on these this platform were censored, you know, and it just gives the ability for big tech and the mainstream media to basically carve out a niche in which they're the arbitrators of what's right wing, what's fascist, and they don't get accused of any of that stuff. As far as like, all right, what's left wing, if you will, like, there's no real left wing. I mean, it's basically the people that are censored and the people that are not censored. And if you're censored, automatically, it's almost like there's a perception that you were censored for a good reason. And that's not the case. I mean, these people, the lunatic left, the powers that be that have aligned themselves with the far left, they they just have control of many of the apparatuses that run our lives today. The media is a big example of that. But the fact that people are becoming hip to it, I mean, it's basically a victory. I look at all these things as a victory, in spite of the fact that all these crazy things are happening with the drones per se. It's a victory because I mean it got people talking. I mean, like, it got people thinking, like, man, who's in charge right now? I mean, a debate should be had. I mean, like, should Trump be in charge right now? I mean, it's a good debate. It's a riveting debate. If anybody were down, um, but no, I mean, from 2021 to 2023, it seemed like it was really fighting uphill with any of these things because of the demonization that would happen, not solely with Trump, but any issue that was parallel or like adjacent to what was being attributed to Trump. I mean, it was just dismissed as if you were a bigot or some shit. And now, I mean, in 2024, in spite of like the my victory, or what I cons- say is a victory from what I perceive, is that a lot of people are questioning everything right now, and that's fantastic. I mean, not that people are becoming conspiratorial, but I think a lot of logic is lost when people are scared out of their minds, and the media has been trying to do nothing but scare us about Trump, about jab related issues, about COVID, and people are just are just tired of the BS. I mean, they've just had it. They're tuning him out, and the real news is coming from Puerto Ricans like myself and other people who are giving you the real, if you will. You do see a large waking up of people too. I mean, I was watching a uh, YouTube show, and they were talking about Stephen A. Smith finding out about the January 6th because a report was released by the Department of Justice that I believe 26 informants for the FBI were participating in the events of January 6th. And there was a fantastic video of Stephen A. Smith basically sort of waking up to the fact that we're being lied to in mass, and that some of these topics were real third rail if you opposed the popular stance that was being pushed by the media, which is the media was pushing January 6th to be similar to September 11th, and to find out that that many people they're admitting to being informants or um, employed by the FBI in some capacity, and that's what they're admitting to. There was actually a congressman, I think his name is Higgs or Big, not it might be Biggs, who had a report of his own that he discussed on Tucker Carlson's show, and he said that there may have been hundreds of active intelligence assets with the January 6th trial, or revving things up in January 6th. And the fact that this is released over the weekend, this DOJ report that 26 informants were among the protesters, it's shocking. It should be shocking to most Americans and people throughout the world. If you count how many people went into the Capitol on that day, it was probably less than 1,000 people. I mean, there was window breaking and some havoc that was caused that they show on video. I mean, none of that shit ultimately was destructive like they painted it out to be. And I watched the events happen live. I actually went on somebody's channel that same day, and it was actually somebody who thought that these were terrorists and you name it. But the fact that at the DOJ is coming out with that report and basically telling you that, listen, like what was considered a conspiracy, that this was perhaps an inside job or allowed to happen at least, would have got me banned from this platform. It probably still gets me hated on this platform by the algo. But the fact that this is put out over the weekend, where the intelligence agencies had people in January 6th in the Capitol, and it's not being discussed. I mean, could you imagine like if Trump were accused of having a couple dozen of rogue agents in the Black Lives Matter protest um, in 2020? Would people not have been tearing shit up and up in arms over that stuff? Would the media have not like let that go for a year if it was Trump that had put some intelligence assets or undercover agents with Black Lives Matter protests? Would the media not have run crazy with that? Not that the media gave two shits about black people or anything that the Black Lives Matter was protesting. The media took a stance on that basically to hurt a politician. That's my conclusion now that we could look back in hindsight. The media could give two shits about minorities. That's always been the case. Um, the fact that they cringingly bent over backwards to adopt the woke movement wasn't sincere. These people didn't know any better. In fact, tell them that you're a minority and conservative, and you'll see how these people try to describe you as some sort of statistic or a low IQ voter. The media gives one shit about minorities. They never have, they never will. Minorities should go back to the attitude that nobody's looking out for them and they'll be a lot better off. Rather than thinking like, all right, this team is looking out for me more than this other team. Like, and honestly, you shouldn't blackpill our minorities. We gotta learn how to not blackpill ourselves in dealing in this country. You know, we only could do what we could make of things. Um, we live in a capitalist society, and at this present time, so capitalize, make it work for you as best you can. Can't be looking at things in the sense of, oh well, this team loves our race more than this other team when we should go in and then we always try to act like we have enemies on all sides. No, can't have it both ways. You can't like root for one team but then say that nobody's rooting for you, if that makes any sense. But um the liberal media, when it came to minorities that were switching it up for the first time in their lives and saying, listen, I'm voting conservative in 2024. I mean, they made all kinds of racist undertones and describing like why minority Hispanics or why um, black men were voting in droves for Trump. I mean, like they would describe them in what I perceive as really negative descriptions. But it's totally acceptable. I mean, like they only, in my eyes, the media was doing everything they could to try to hurt Trump to some capacity for the last 8 years plus. And I think most stories are dictated for that central purpose, or with that the media, and it's not just the media. I mean, I think a lot of people, the powers that be, if you will, put all their chips on the table, like to go after Trump for I'm not sure what reason. Honestly, it's not. I'm not that deep into the game. I just know that when it came to the flu of 2020, I mean, they drew that up as if it was a tidal wave of fucking nothing good could come of it. It's Trump's fault. Trump, 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 Trump. Any issue, I mean, like in and around that time, even now, I mean, they still blame Trump for the migration issue somehow or for inflation. I mean, nothing's ever the left's fault or the powers that be fault. It's only the people that the powers that be are, or the person that the powers that be are going after. It's his fault only. Um, I'm surprised they haven't blamed this drone thing on Trump. To be frank, I mean, I was getting a little nervous in that press conference today, thinking that maybe he's going to say something that may look unfavorable if they edit it right, with in relation to these drones. Like make this dude look like a crazy person, like they always try to. But thankfully, we ain't getting into that. But I mean, we ain't get a lot of questioning to the man who's gonna be taking the Oval Office in a month, and ask him what his opinion is on these drones. And he actually stated that he wasn't gonna stay in his house in Bedminster because of this drone issue or because of the danger of these drones. Um, Going back to the drones too, one thing I did hear another Jersey politician. I don't know his name. It wasn't the Van Drew fella that mentioned the fact that this drone thing could be an Iranian operation and that they had a mothership off the East Coast. That was a congressman by the name of Van Drew from New Jersey, but it wasn't him who I heard make a statement today in which he said that these drones are likely military and that they could be look there with an operational intention, which would make sense. I mean, because even like Trump mentioned that too, that Biden should come out and tell the American people what the purpose of the drones are. Um, And Trump spoke about it in that fashion as if he wasn't particularly worried, outside of the fact that they were first reported by Bedminster, his house, in November. Um, but having said that, um, it would have been a lot better had that whole press conference been related to this drone issue. I mean, like, um, but I was also going to discuss something I heard on another show, and this wasn't the congressman that mentioned it. It was actually a drone maker who said that he works in conjunction with the government as far as contracting his services out to the government. I guess making drones, but he mentioned something that should scare people as well, in that the drones might be out there in an effort to detect something, namely a nuclear bomb, which sucks because of where I am in relation to all this. Primarily, the fact that a lot of these drones are in this neighborhood. I mean, like, the national news is basically showing the neighborhood next to mine with these drone stories. One. Secondly, I mean, like, I'm extremely close to New York City. I mean, and I have family here and I have family in New York City. Could they be attempting to detect a threat that they've heard about? I mean, there's a story of a missing nuclear warhead potentially being out there, unknown, in an unknown location somewhere in the world. I mean, and then you start to think, I mean, how many bad people were let into the country in these past 3 years, 4 years under this current administration? Um, People that we don't, I mean, how many pieces of equipment could have been brought in here to assemble anything, to assemble these drones, if you will, if they came from another country? Um, but things are really getting real out here. Like, I hope that people are doing their due diligence and not only keeping their head on a swivel, like, and looking up at the skies to see if you see a drone. Because I mean, what the hell are you gonna do with that? But don't be corralled in your conversations. No idea is a bad idea. I mean, no, people should be discussing amongst themselves what this is. You know, people shouldn't. This is definitely a conversation that shouldn't be censored. I mean, not that any conversation should be censored, but as far as on this platform, I mean, I'm not sure if the issues that I had with my last live stream, in which I was intending on showing live footage, which I actually did show live drone footage that day. Um, if this platform has an issue with us discussing that topic, who knows? Or if they have an issue with taking footage of that, the subject of that topic in relation to those things in the sky. Can't call it, but I don't want. I want to live in a world in which, you know, if we get discussing this or any other topic, that it shouldn't be silenced. I mean, the media shouldn't dictate what's important. I mean, because if you leave it to the media to dictate what's important, they're gonna say a fake story about a worm in Robert Kennedy's brain is the most important thing that Trump should be discussing, or, you know, it's bullshit, total bullshit. Um, and if people find that acceptable, I mean, like, I get it. I mean, like, I would rather people be candid and say, all right, I only find this acceptable because I'm rooting for not Trump, and, you know, anything that'll give him a victory, I ain't gonna cover, and anything that will make him look unfavorable, I'm just gonna go over the top, like the typical media does. I mean, like, you know, in and amongst your friends and your people, when you discuss these things, we shouldn't have those same rules that the media does. The media should be done away with forever. I mean, you and I should be the media. I believe you far more than you listening to this channel right now. I believe you far more than I would anything that comes out of CNN. Um, and they have a lot more capability than a Puerto Rican who's doing this video off his phone in New Jersey as we speak. Um, but that should start changing as far as who we believe, because the media is doing everything in their power to let you know they don't have your best interest at heart, and they'll lie to you at every turn. They'll lie to you at every turn, and it doesn't have just to do with Trump. It basically has to do. My feeling is that the powers that be, I mean, want as much control as humanly possible. I mean, right now, and I think people are evolving in a sense, and they're basically going out of their way to corral us in. For what funk? To what end? I'm not sure. Like, why do they want to corral us in? I can't say. I just get that feeling that we're on the verge of really some new times, if you will, and they really don't want us expanding ourselves. Um, and not everybody is gonna evolve or you know living in subscribe to the fact that maybe the media should be done away with and we're not going to believe them outright. That would change society just on its own. But that's not the only thing that I think is happening here. I mean, you guys all know this. I mean, people are starting to question all the powers that be all at once, and all conversations to be had at this point. I mean, I think they're necessary. I think people need to be talking to each other more and more in these times like this. It's dangerous that we don't. Um, and it became all too acceptable in an effort to silence Trump that we dispute, not listen to anything that's Trump adverse or Trump parallel, Trump related, anybody associated with Trump. If it's a platform that hosts Trump, it should be everybody on that platform should be dismissed. Oh, if it's on, if it's on Rumble, it can't be true. I mean, that's bullshit. Come on, guys. We really can't think like that. And where you really refrain yourselves um, by subscribing to such a silly notion. Um, I would rather conversate in these live streams rather than like talking into a camera because things do get boring. But I'm gonna end this pretty soon too. I want to chill out, take a shower. Um, if you guys have any comments or any questions, I gladly answer it. I want to try to do different content too. I think a lot of crazy things are happening, and I'd rather discuss that far more than like interviews that I want to do. But I do want to get down to doing interviews. It's really one of the things I want to do the most on this channel. Just and not interview anybody crazy special. Just people that I find interesting and or people that I think people would find interesting as well. I much rather do those things because I rather again not just talking to my phone without with and staring off into the abyss. But I still want to try to commit myself to doing more videos and more content into 2025, of course. Now I'm going to discuss the real. I mean, like a lot of these things that I am discussing, um, I may take the risk of getting kiboshed off this platform, but I would like to take this party elsewhere anyway. To be frank, I don't want to be censored any longer. I don't go in as much as I want to, honestly, on this stupid platform. But I'd much rather take this party elsewhere. To put it plainly, unless they switch things up on this stinking platform that we're listening to right now. But with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Um, Let me do my little cat cameo for the evening, if you will. This is Baby 11. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to look on the TV to see if I see it. Baby Levy. You guys see it? Dang. I don't know if my video is working. Let me see. Hold on. Up on this stinking platform. Oh man, my shit's crazy today. On the playback. Oh no, there she goes. Baby Levy. Any comments, questions, curses? Can you see if I can make it dance? Say hi. Say hi, baby, baby. Oh, look how cute that little thing is. I'm sorry. Alright. There's no comments or questions. I'm gonna break out. Help me beat this algorithm if you could by sharing, subscribing to my work. And as far as the cats go, I mean, that's my other uh, job, if you will, or duty. We try to get cats, stray cats, adopted, fixed. So there's always a stable of different cats or kittens that are in my house, and I don't get paid off any of this shit, but I love animals, and if you're interested in cat content, I'll have that just off GP. Look, let me show you some cat content right now, cause you motherfuckers think it's a game, son. Motherfuckers think it's a game, son. What's that? What's that? Who that? Who that little cat? So cute. But now with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm hugging up my cat now. Um, and with that, I'd like to thank you for stepping into the Foul Playland with me. As always, I am Certified Player of Brooklyn. Do not believe the hype. To hell with the mainstream media. With that, I'm out. Peace.